What's up?
Floor beans.
Welcome back to Wheel Takes, a podcast.
Say what's up again.
What's up?
Now the beans are on the floor.
They're not. This is a podcast about the Wheel of Time, a series of fantasy beans.
We've spilled the beans.
About the Wheel of Beans. A podcast about the bean. This is a. Welcome back to Wheel Takes.
You good?
A podcast about the Wheel of Time, a series of fantasy novels written by Robert Jordan, completed by Brandon Beenderson. Beenden Sanderson was right there.
Yeah, it was.
I'm Gus. I've read all of them.
And I'm Allie. And I have read up to book 12, chapter 16?
17.
17!
This podcast only contains spoilers for what Allie's already read, and today that's everything up to and including Gathering Storm Chapter 17, and we are recording this from a microphone perched on a bed, and I just realized there's a chest of drawers right there, which would be a much better thing. Hold on. Okay, we moved. This is much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because now the microphone is at head level, and we don't have to lean over. It's the American Thanksgiving week.
This is why our episode is a little late.
We are with family. Our episodes have been a little late consistently now, which is good because it means we're back on schedule in a weird, crazy sort of way. We're going to go with that. Allie?
Yeah?
Oh my God. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Beans.
Beans.
You had to listen to this.
I did.
Tell us what you thought about beans.
What the fuck?
There's beans.
Why?
I had mentioned to you at one point that there was, because we started the Brandon books and you said, at least there will be no more spanking.
And you went, well.
And I said, and Allie is giving some ASMR to people by accident because she is applying a face mask.
I just figured,
so you may hear some crinkle. You may also hear some laundry noises. You may hear any number of things.
Well, I just kind of figured, I was thinking about this, and I was like, hey, I spend a lot of time recording. That could also be face mask time.
You know what? Well, here's the thing.
Just make it a really relaxing evening of it, you know what I mean?
Beans.
Yeah, what the fuck?
How you feeling?
And you said that Harriet insisted this scene be included.
Brandon is apparently on record as saying, I didn't want to write Cadsuane spanking Semirhage, but Harriet insisted. Which means I assume that this was explicitly from Robert Jordan's notes.
I have so many questions as to why, like, of all the hills to die on, why must this
A hill of beans?
A hill of beans?
A hill of beans.
Why this scene? Why must we include this scene? Why is that integral to Robert Jordan's vision?
Here's my question.
Yeah.
If this were the only spanking in the entire series, would it be better?
Yes. Because then there'd be no other spanking.
No, I mean this particular scene.
Would what be?
Would this particular scene be better?
It would still be a wildly uncomfortable moment. Now, of course, we're going to get someone who goes, actually, I think it is the best scene in the book.
That's great.
We're so happy for you. We cannot possibly agree with you. We cannot possibly agree with you, but I hold space for both the lyrics of Defying Gravity and your ability to find this scene as the best scene in the book.
Oh, we're back on meme culture? We're leaning into contemporary TikTok meme culture?
I didn't know that was happening.
I didn't know this meme was happening until very recently.
Yeah, so, what the fuck? Why? Who?
Cadsuane.
Why?
Semirhage.
Why?
Recalcitrant. Truculent. Stubborn.
And the answer
apparently is humiliating. Well,
I mean, here's the thing.
Does it make sense? Yeah, sure.
I understand that humiliation is a form of torture, right? Like that's a thing that happens. Like I'm not unwise as to that being a thing. It just feels like I have a hard time picturing this same scene happening with, I don't know, Davram Bashir and Damon Dredd.
I would read the shit out of that.
I actually do need a gender bent version of this
I would
scene
read the fuck out of this. Dude, Rodel Iturralda spanking Samael and making him eat
the shit out of that.
him eat I don't think something other than beans. I can't think of any other
rice?
food. Making it that's too isn't that too similar though? Making him eat
What would filet mignon off the floor? What
chuck round. I don't know. I give up.
Round?
I would
Spam?
I would laugh at that. No, I wouldn't.
Spam
It's
from the
still
floor?
bad. Somebody, yeah.
It just feels like I don't know if we would read it the same if it were two dudes. I don't know if it would have been written.
Well, it does continue the trend that you have often flagged of humiliate powerful women.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah. And extended spanking scenes
There's also
with powerful
that,
women.
yes.
There's a lot of extended spanking scenes with powerful women.
There are many of them.
Many. How many spanking scenes do we get? Like,
With
when
men?
Rand was in the box,
There were a couple. Rand got spanked once.
he was more beaten
There
than
was also a
spanked.
time Rand got spanked once, and we pointed it out as the counterexample we didn't want.
It is the counterexample we didn't want.
Yeah. It happened at least once. I think it was recently. But it's not common.
I don't want anyone getting spanked.
No. But if anybody's
Give
going
me
to get
torture over
spanked...
spanking.
Well, which is also going back to Egwene, which I feel like is something that you've been enjoying about Egwene this book. It feels,
less,
even though it's still spanking, for some reason it doesn't feel like it.
It feels less like titillating.
Yeah.
And I guess the thing is that the spanking feels like it's meant to be a little titillating. And that, I think, is what I'm bumping against.
Sure.
Of the women.
Sure, yeah, I get that. Or at least comes from a place where there's a little bit of a
Well,
behind it.
I think people make a lot of jokes about this being Robert Jordan's kink for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably.
You know, like, I think we're all kind of like, what's up with that?
But this is the thing. Harriet insisted it was included. What if it was Harriet's kink all along?
I said that. No,
You did.
I said that on the
live
lives.
reaction.
Thank you. My God, that took a while to get there. I believe I made that little quip on the live stream, and I agree with you 100%. I'm like, maybe it was Harriet all along. It was Harriet all along.
We haven't watched that yet.
I know. We have to finish one of the shows that we are already watching.
No.
I insist we
We
finish
got to watch
one
Arcane.
show.
We got to watch Andor.
We
gotta
are
watch
just
all
a
these
couple
things.
episodes away from ending several
We got to
shows.
watch Slow Horses.
We haven't even finished this season of Bridgerton yet.
We got to, well, yeah. That's true. We should. What else we got? What about a bunch of stuff?
Yeah.
We got to watch me read The Wheel of Time, Chapter 17, Questions of Control. Allie, where'd we leave off?
It's not Min and Rand. Hold on. Pulling my little eye thingies open.
That's going to be some kind of sensory abomination as she opens this package. Somebody is
I just thought I might have a
fuming.
relaxing evening since I had to work all day.
On the holiday, no less.
I know.
Agonizing.
I know.
She's applying the eye mask, which is really less... they look like mango-colored... Well, mango slices. They look like mango
They
slices.
feel really nice. Do you want one?
I've used them before. They're great. I'm a big fan. I should probably put on hand cream because my hands, as we are in a cold place, will crack and bleed. Everybody wants to know about my hands cracking. That's something that people tune into this podcast to think about at all.
Well, okay. So we left off. I had a little time to think. Min and Rand happened.
Yes?
And then Egwene had her awesome moment with
The
Olyga
best
in the
chapter ever.
It was pretty great.
And it's fun because we listened to that chapter and then we immediately listened to this chapter.
It
And
was
the
a big
whip
about face.
has never lashed more.
It was. My neck hurts
It's next level stuff.
from just the heel turn that occurred because I was riding this high where I was like, this is the greatest I've ever felt reading these books. Maybe I struggle to think of a time I was more excited to be reading this series than then. And then all of a sudden it was as if Harriet was like, not so fast.
Now wait just a minute.
Now wait just a minute. We're going to bring you the weirdest thing that you've read in this series so far. Right after maybe the best thing you've read in this series so far.
Allie, what is it about it that's weird?
What is it about? What isn't about it that's weird?
I just wanted to give you a chance to elucidate that.
And I just feel like, I mean, to Semirhage, this is probably hot. Like,
You would think, but apparently not.
I mean, apparently, I don't know. I just feel like she's enjoying herself with all this.
Again, you would think.
I also keep getting nervous about the fact that she keeps threatening to kill Cadsuane, because I'm like, well, that feels like it's been said several times now, I believe, to Cadsuane specifically, that she's going to kill her slowly.
It is sort of funny to me that this is enough to break Semirhage. It does indicate that she's kind of a wimp, especially considering that Egwene has gone through significantly more in the last chapter.
A weenie!
And was fine.
A weenie!
More like, no, I'm not going to make that joke. Yeah, it's too bad.
Weenie.
Weenie.
That's weenie behavior.
A 3,000-year-old murder weenie.
That she is a 3,000-year-old murder weenie.
Or is she a beanie? Ba-na-na-na.
We don't have the soundboard with us on the road.
We're not home.
Yeah.
Look.
No, it's true. I'm like, you got to be made of sterner stuff if you're going to be a torturer. And you'd think that you'd like study how to deal with torture a little more. And Rand wouldn't even let them really torture her.
No.
This is child's play stuff.
No.
This is low level torture, really. This is not even torture. This is just like humiliation.
Yeah, it's exclusively humiliation because I don't think it's the pain that is a problem to her. It seems to be only the fact that people are watching her get spanked.
And humiliated.
Yeah.
I think the humiliation is what the problem is for her.
Yeah, it's the humiliation. It's
like, pain, she'd be like, all right, cool.
It's that she's puffed herself up to be this legendary figure. And that, again, I mean, we see hints of this when Cadsuane and Cerelia are in there. And Cerelia's like, oh, she seems just like a normal lady. And this is the only thing Semirhage responds to.
She's really got an ego problem.
Yeah, well, the Forsaken all around.
This isn't a call out. This is a call in. You have an ego problem,
The Forsaken across the board, I feel.
They really do.
I, again,
Things live in their head so rent-free.
Need to see Rodel Iturralda spanking Samael, the sequel.
Yeah, then I will rest.
That would be...
If we get a male Forsaken getting, like, spanked and humiliated, I will let this go. What?
No, I what
was that face?
I just smiled because I think that would be an entertaining read.
I need one of the main boys to go through an extended spanking sequence.
Well, Rand did have that at one point.
That was mostly beating, though.
He also got spanked at one point.
When was that?
And I mean, if we're talking about public humiliation as prescribed by the books, unfortunately, we got a lot of that with Matt. If we want to think about that at all.
That's true. Okay.
I don't think they're on the same level, but I think,
Don't bother me with these facts.
I'm not, look, all I'm doing is
Don't come to me with these receipts. I want to sit on my hill of righteous indignation.
Let me clarify. I don't disagree with you. I don't. I'm looking for...
I feel like maybe you disagree with me.
I really don't at all. I truly don't.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
I know you don't. No, you're right. We should also have these counterpoints, and I don't always remember every detail of everything that happens.
But I 100% agree with you. It's heavily slanted towards women being humiliated and being put in compromising situations.
Yes.
Really a lot. So
a lot.
There you go.
Well, and the men kind of... anyway, we're not going to get into this.
Yeah, we don't need to do that again.
I can't do it again. Oh, how many times over how many years?
A lot. If we had the soundboard, we'd play the harp.
Yeah.
Which you did about 30 times on the live stream.
Yes, many times. I was like, what? It's not working this time. We're not skipping past it.
Do we want to talk about how... Well, you don't have notes because it was a live stream, and you were too busy staring at the camera like, what the fuck, and looking at me who was eating jelly beans with a shit-eating grin on my face, and going, you planned this, you bastard.
Yes.
Which I had.
I did
plan it.
Offended.
I planned it.
Morally.
I did plan it.
You did. And apparently people have been waiting for me to get to this for a long time.
People have been looking forward to this for a very long time.
I hope that it was satisfactory. I hope it was everything you wanted and more.
Do we want to consider the parallels between Egwene being publicly beaten and not giving a fuck, and Semirhage being publicly beaten and immediately collapsing like a house of cards made out of
that's a good
CVS
parallel.
Receipts? I believe Koala pointed that out, one of our YouTube moderators, and longtime friend of the pod, and creator of the Cards of Time.
Yes.
Do we want to chat about that at all?
That's a good parallel. I had not thought of that. I think that's a good parallel. And it shows that Egwene is infinitely emotionally sterner than friggin' Semirhage. What a wuss. Can't handle one floor bean. If I
not
had
a single
nickel
bean.
for every time I had to eat beans off the floor, I'd have 0 nickels, but I feel like I could deal with it.
I feel like you could handle it better. What kind of beans were they? What do we think? There was a poll that
some
suggested
kind of pinto.
baked beans, but there was also the opportunity it could be lima beans. Coriolanus Snow is quaking. If they had made in A Ballad of Songbirds, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, if they'd made Coriolanus Snow eat lima beans off the floor, might it have prevented everything that came after? Or no? What do you think?
Hold on 1 second, sorry. Okay. So, what was the question?
If they had made could it be lima beans, or green beans, or string beans? And if it had been lima beans, if they had made Coriolanus Snow eat lima beans off the floor during The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, might that have prevented everything to come?
What was that book that they made us read when we were kids? Or had us read when we were kids? I'm so sorry, I got distracted by lima beans. I didn't hear the rest of that question.
Fuck my question. Say what you were going to say. It's totally fine. It doesn't matter. It was meant to be a joke anyway.
Let's again.
Just no.
It again.
The people are sick of my joke.
Say it
they
again.
no longer want to hear it.
Say it a third time.
Could it have been green beans or lima beans? And if it were lima beans, could we not have made Coriolanus Snow eat lima beans off the floor during The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? And had we done so, would it have prevented all that was to come? Because he hated lima beans. Go ahead, say whatever you were going to say. Yeah.
I think no, that would have just accelerated his villain origin story.
Is that going to accelerate Semirhage's cruelty streak, or is she cowed
think she's gonna
now?
Kill one of these women.
Has she been broken?
No way, Jose. She is angrier. They just kicked a hornet's nest. I feel like I'm concerned that she is going to get out and kill one or more of these women.
Which women?
Well, she keeps saying it to Cadsuane, but I don't feel like we're going to...
for Cadsuane Melydron? Is this it? Her swan song?
I hope not, but
brought about by floor beans.
If we get Moraine back, I'm not saying these two women are interchangeable.
I think you're saying that these two women are interchangeable.
No, I am not.
I think that's what you're saying.
Decidedly no, but I'm like, do we need 2 mentors for Rand who are of a similar vibe?
Could we not have
do they share similar functions in the story?
Mentor battle, much like Semirhage battle, which didn't happen.
That'd be kind of fun.
Did.
Like a little well, I've been here, you haven't been here. Well, I was there from day one.
This was my project.
That could be interesting. Little butting heads between the two.
If not Cadsuane.
I literally bodied someone through a door for him and then suffered, whatever at the hands of the Fae, but whatever.
If not Cadsuane, who?
Well, okay, let's see. Who else is kind of participating? Cerelia? Ugh, that would be terrible.
Who will matchmake among the Aiel?
Amis could be the start of Rourke's villain origin story.
Oh my god.
Because I have predicted that maybe both of them won't make it through.
You have predicted that.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like we got to start losing some pretty major people at this point. Like,
we
there's
are
a lot
approaching
of them.
The end game.
There's a lot of them. We're getting toward the end. So if we're going to lose people, we're going to start losing them now. So I feel like those two are definitely high on the list. Who else is there? Who else is helping with this? Some lady, I don't know.
Serene?
Yeah, I don't know if she...
I think some other people are there.
Yeah, I think those are the most important people, and I feel like it's got to be one, if not more of them.
Min?
No.
Rand al'Thor.
There's Dagian.
Davram Bashir.
There's Elza.
Daigian.
Elza's
Elza.
possible. That'd be kind of ironic.
She is a baddie.
She is a baddie, but I feel like Semirhage must know that.
Maybe.
Or she'd just go, I'm a baddie. But then Semirhage might not care about that. She might be like, you participated.
Could be. Well, Allie, shall we
dive
riff
in?
Or dive in?
Dive in.
Okay. We should take an ad break first, so do me a favor. See that computer over there?
Yeah.
Hit the space bar, then hit R. incredible work. Welcome back. Chapter 17, Questions of Control.
Yes.
That's the chapter logo. What is it?
Oh, the fuck is that?
Every time you see this logo, you say the same thing.
It's like a puzzle thing.
It is a puzzle thing.
Does it
that
represent...
could be made by...
It's not a blacksmith.
It's a blacksmith's
Why
puzzle.
Why is that the chapter logo?
Because the second part of this chapter is Perrin.
It is?
Yes.
What does he do in this?
He thinks, I sure haven't accomplished anything for the past 5 books.
What?
Maybe I should do something about that. I don't know.
Oh, thank God.
You should be more careful, Serene said from inside the room. The Amerlin seat, we have much influence with her. Your punishments, we may be able to persuade her to lessen them if you're helpful.
And Semirhage is like, I don't give a fuck. Not much you can do to me, except for make me eat beans off the floor. That's my one weakness.
That's my one weakness. That's the only thing that'll break me.
Cadsuane's listening like, what are we going to do about this broad? This is fucked. I'm pissed. Have you noticed I've been practicing my swear? Oh, fun thing. We can't swear in the first 7 seconds of the episode ever again.
Why?
Because our YouTube has been monetized.
The first how many seconds?
7 seconds. I'll try to hold myself back. I don't know if I can do it.
You're not the problem here, and we both know that.
It might be me.
You'll be like, hello, and I'll be like, fuck!
Cadsuane, Daegian, Irian, and Elza are all maintaining the shield on Semirhage. Rand, Cadsuane. Anyway, what's going on here? What's the haps? How's it going? How is the questioning proceeding? Is it successful? Is it working? How are they doing, Allie?
They're trying to figure out what to do with Semirhage.
And it's going poorly. Yes.
Yeah, because she's an uncrackable safe.
Except for
the back compartment
beams.
that opens.
Yeah.
Like she's the unsinkable ship. Except for, the fact that she sinks.
An iceberg.
Like, you would just expect someone who's an expert in torture, including, I'm sure, humiliation, to not fold like a cheap suit the minute that she has to eat beans off the floor.
Is it the beans or the spanking?
Either way. Yeah. Either way,
or the people watching.
You should be made of sterner stuff than Egwene if you're torturing people on the reg. Am I right?
Probably would be better.
What? Like, it's like, she's a weenie. Again, she's a weenie. Weenie girl. Weenie.
Once, something as dramatic as the squabbles at the White Tower would have drawn Cadsuane's immediate attention, but she couldn't begin to work on that problem.
The anthropologists are rushing to study the 3,000-year-old weenie.
Creation itself was unraveling, and her only way to fight that was to turn all her efforts on Althor. It's funny, I think about this, and I think of Shogun. Not to spoil anything major from Shogun, but there's a thing that happens very early in Shogun where Blackthorn, the British guy, is this Japanese dude pees on his head, like to show him who's boss, and his response is just, oh, okay, fuck you, I'll get you later then.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I just thought that was an interesting parallel because I feel like they're comparable.
It is comparable.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed. What's it? What's the gate thing that they do? The
8-fold fence.
Semirhage didn't even have 2 fences.
Not even a single fence.
Not a single fence did that woman have. The 8-fold fence. That's
or maybe it's 9-fold. What?
Is that anything to do with the 3-fold land? Do we think?
No, because that is a term from Shogun.
No, but we have the 3-fold land.
Yeah.
Right, in Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
And then we have the 8-fold fence in Shogun. I'm saying, was the 3-fold land inspired by the 8-fold fence?
I doubt it. But I will say, having read Shogun, Robert Jordan definitely read Shogun.
Was heavily inspired, which is why I'm like, well,
definitely,
maybe.
Well, if nothing else, then he was definitely heavily inspired by
reference?
James Clavell's writing style.
Could it have been a reference?
You know what might have been a reference?
What?
The fact that James Clavell or Clavell, I don't know how to pronounce it, there's 10 sex scenes in that book that are just all about butts.
Well,
Not quite spanking, or maybe I should say far past spanking.
Well, there
just
you
the
go.
Appropriate level of thank God for that old pervert.
Thank
to
God
quote
for
ourselves
that old
talking about Robert Jordan. There's a lengthy scene where they describe anal beads to him. It's weird, man. I'm really glad they cut that from the show. Anyway, moving the fuck on. Good book. Genuinely good book. You know what else is a good book that I would recommend to nobody? The book I finished today, and I will not be saying anything else about that. So...
Now everyone's going to be like, what
great book
was that?
Very sad. Very sad. Blasted boy, and now there was Semirhage continuing to defy her. Cadsuane itched to go in and confront the woman, but Maurice had asked the very questions Cadsuane would have, and she had failed. How long would Cadsuane's image remain intact if she proved herself as impotent as the others? So Semirhage is like, y'all are a bunch of fucking weenies. I should know, being Queen Weenie myself, that y'all are a bunch of losers.
You could say Queenie.
Queenie.
The Queenie.
That sounds good, though.
Yeah, but it's a portmanteau that I stand by.
Don't you feel ashamed using that term to describe your... Oh, Semirhage. Aes Sedai. Don't you feel ashamed using that term to describe yourselves? Like a puppy calling itself a wolf?
All right, you are one to talk, considering that you fold like a cheap suit under pressure.
We may not know everything, I admit, but
You know nothing. Your children playing with your parents' toys. And then they bring in her food, and she hucks that food on the ground. She chucks it.
My 2-year-old nephew with a beach ball.
I will not eat that, the Forsaken said, in control as always. I have grown tired of your swill. You will bring me something appropriate.
If we do,
Serene's voice said, obviously snatching for any advantage.
Will you answer our questions?
Now, obviously, this is garbage behavior, but as somebody who has safe foods, I also kind of get it.
Is Semirhage just ADHD?
No, because I feel like ADHD people can withstand humiliation quite well.
So they send for more food, a different food for her, and what revelation does Cadsuane have?
Make her eat it off the floor.
Don't respect her. She thrives off of our respect. Disrespect her.
Honestly, that is a good tactic for people like that. Disrespect does work on some people. Apparently her.
So Cadsuane goes in. Semirhage stood in the center of the small chamber. She had been retied in air, the weaves likely woven the moment she dropped her tray. The brass platter lay discarded, the beans soaking juice into the aged wooden boards. This room had no window. It had been a storage chamber at one point, converted into a cell to hold the Forsaken. Serene sat in a chair before Semirhage. Her warder of Italian, broad-shouldered and ashen-faced, stood in the corner. Cadsuane walks up and goes,
I see that the child has refused her meal. Serene, release your weaves.
As Serene released her weaves of air, Cadsuane grabbed Semirhage by the hair and with a casual sweep of her foot knocked the woman's legs out from beneath her, dropping her to the floor.
Dang.
Perhaps she could have used
Grandma's
the power,
moves.
but it felt right to use her hands for this.
Grandma's like 10 years of Krav Maga, bitch.
Semirhage, though tall, was a woman of willowy build, and Cadsuane herself had always been more stout than she was slim. Plus, the Forsaken seemed utterly dumbfounded at how she was being treated. Cadsuane knelt down with one knee on the woman's back. I'm not going to read all of this.
Eat, she said. I don't approve of wasted food, child, particularly during these times.
And, yeah, I'm not going to read all this. Allie, any further thoughts on this?
I dig it.
You dig it?
No.
I was going to say, do you dig it?
I started to talk and then I was like, what am I saying? No, you don't. I dig it on opposite day. Yeah, I feel like everyone's kind of like, what are we doing?
Yeah, she goes,
are you going to eat?
I will kill you, Semirhage said calmly. First, before all of the others.
She's said that so many times.
I will make them listen to you scream.
I see. Serene, go tell the three sisters outside to come in. Also, I saw some maids cleaning rooms on the other side of the hallway. Fetch them for me as well.
That's a good plan.
And
if you're going to disrespect somebody, you got to get people that they're not going to respect in there.
And then she
watch it.
Just fucking spanks her.
In front of everybody.
For like a really long time.
Could you imagine, though, the maids are probably like shitting themselves?
Yeah.
Probably like, I have to be around Aes Sedai and a Forsaken while the Aes Sedai is beating the hell out of the Forsaken. What if the Forsaken gets mad and somehow gets out?
No,
then I'm the first to die.
Cadsuane said after a few moments, breaking into one of Semirhage's howls of pain.
Will you eat?
I'll find everyone you've ever loved, the Forsaken said, tears in her eyes. I'll feed them.
Like, they're long dead, darling.
I'll feed them to each other while you watch. And then Cadsuane continues to spank her.
Honestly, Semirhage at this point is getting tiresome. Like, she's got the same
She's got the
riff
same 3
track
fucking
every
threats.
time. Yeah, I'm like, get a new album.
Yeah. Like, I know, it's a great hit. It's been working. You've played it a million times.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, it's getting a little old.
Semirhage could not be defeated by pain or by persuasion, but destroying her image, that would be more terrible in her mind than any other punishment.
Here's the thing. Despite the floor beans and my issues with the floor beans, she's not wrong.
No, she's not.
Cadsuane's not wrong. Honestly, this would be a really effective way to deal with Elida as well.
Probably. Will you eat? Cadsuane continues to try to spank her, and Semirhage practically leaped off her lap and scrambled onto the floor, eating the beans.
Okay, but again, that didn't take very long.
It took about 5 minutes.
Like, why not? I'm also like, Cadsuane is using, like, Semirhage doesn't even try fighting back physically, because, like, Cadsuane is, like, manhandling her physically.
Yeah.
Semirhage doesn't even try to, like, go for the eyes.
No.
None of it. She's just empty threats. She's lame. Semirhage's lame. Semirhage's lame.
You know, it's kind of like there's a Wong Kar-wai movie called As Tears Go By, which is not his best movie, but
How dare you?
it's his first movie, and I think everybody would agree with me that it's good, but it's not great compared to
How dare
a
you?
lot of his other stuff. It's very good.
Wow.
But there's a scene where there's this Hong Kong triad, which is mob member, basically, who gets humiliated by this other guy, and then he tries to, like, turn around and be like, oh, no, I'm still in charge, right? And everybody's like, no, you're not. Fuck off. But here's what I think is funny. That guy gets humiliated. That guy gets humiliated in front of his own men.
Mm-hmm.
Semirhage is humiliating Semirhage in front of... Sorry, Cadsuane is humiliating Semirhage in front of the good guys.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's... Yeah, it works, but I just feel like if Semirhage... It's a very interesting insight into her character that this is all it really takes.
Because you know what? I'm about to get on my little soapbox. These people who are so evil and bad are wusses.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it takes a lot more courage and conviction to be a nice person in a difficult world than it does to be a mean, petty little
So-and-so.
POS.
Yeah.
And so all of these people who seem so big and tough and like strong in quotes, because it doesn't take a lot of strength to be a bully, the minute that they're up against more than one person, they will crumble like a freaking crumble cake.
Mm.
That's it.
I want a crumble cake.
That's how it is. A crumble cookie. These people have the fortitude of a piece of paper.
So Semirhage starts eating the beans, and Cadsuane goes,
She's a person, just a person, like any of us. She has secrets.
A person's a person, no matter how small.
But any young boy can have a secret that he refuses to tell. Remember that.
Points to the first person who can message us that musical. Anyway.
You may want to begin carrying a hairbrush with you, Cadsuane added. That can be quite hard on your hands.
The implication being they're all just going to spank her from now on. Which I guess it works.
I mean, if it works, it works. I just think that, like, come on, Semi, we gotta buck up, Buttercup. Like, this is not even on the list of messed up stuff you've done to other people and are threatening to do to other people.
She made a dude come to death.
And she folds over beans? What a wuss!
So we switch to Perrin. How's Perrin?
Not as wussy as Semirhage, apparently.
No. What's up with Perrin? Do you remember this part?
He's thinking that maybe he should do something.
Or were you traumatized too much by floor beans?
Honestly, I was so wrapped up in the floor beans. I don't know how much I listened to this section.
My lord, Grady said, rubbing his weathered face, I don't think you understand. Then explain it to me, Perrin said.
Perrin's always having stuff inside him.
Yeah. So the Shido haven't chased Perrin. He's doing good. He wants to use gateways to teleport the refugees away.
Yeah, and they're like, no, because it's going to take 1 billion years.
The work had been distracting, which was good, but Perrin knew he couldn't push aside his problems for long. Rand pulled him northward. Perrin had to march for the last battle. Nothing else mattered. And yet, that very single-mindedness in him, ignoring everything but his objective, had been the source of much trouble during his hunt for Fahil. He had to find a balance
It was
somehow.
the source of much trouble.
He needed to decide
Agreed.
for himself if he wanted to lead these people.
Though at the same time, that is the single-mindedness of purpose that I expect if I ever get kidnapped.
Yes, of course. He needed to make peace. He needed to make peace with the wolf inside himself. The beast that
It
raged.
is the single-mindedness of purpose I would have. If
Yeah.
happened to you.
Same. When he went into battle. And he's like, but first I gotta deal with the refugees. Grady, buck up, Buttercup. Time to start making gateways. You had a big long nap. You had a big boy nap. You should be good. He goes, fatigue's only one part of it, my lord. Though honestly, I still feel as if I could sleep a week's time. Perrin is like, ugh.
Fibromyalgia, am I right?
Light, but I used this man too hard, Perrin thought. Him and Neild both. That had been another effect of Perrin's single-mindedness, as he was beginning to see what he'd done to Aram, how he'd allowed those around him to go without leadership.
I'm glad that he is acknowledging it.
Will he ever bring it up again?
I hope that he thinks about it more than once.
Aram? Are we ever going to hear about Aram again?
Because why? Because I don't think so. I don't think so, but I would like to think that he's learning from that experience.
I will clarify, by the way. This is the most growth Perrin has shown
in a minute.
8 books.
Since the Battle of Two Rivers.
This is the most growth he's shown.
I'm really pleased,
in
actually.
ages, and I'm very proud of him. So Grady goes, here's the thing, my lord. There's some 100,000 people who need to get home. The ones that'll leave, anyway.
100,000 people?
Many say they feel
Good
safer here with you.
Lord.
I can give over wanting that.
Well,
Perrin
we can't
said.
feed all those people. Jesus Christ.
They belong with their families. And the ones whose families are in Shanshan lands? Before the invaders came, many of these people would be happy to return, but now, well, they keep talking about staying where there's food and protection.
I don't blame them.
Your man, Balwer, he gave us a count. I can make a gateway big enough for about 2 men to walk through at once. If you figure I'm taking 1 second to go through, well, it'll take hours and hours to send them all. I don't know the number, but he claimed it'd be days' worth of work.
Jesus.
And he said that his estimates were probably too optimistic. My lord, I could barely keep a gateway open an hour with how tired I am. Perrin is like, oh, fuck. All right,
I think
fuck.
you just drop them off at the nearest city and
Let's just keep on moving.
Figure out where to go.
We'll keep on trucking. Keep on rocking. We'll keep on going north. It'll be fine. We'll punt a few off every now and again. We'll do what we did. It's fine. It's going to work out. We're going to be okay.
Feed all those people. 100,000 people? Good God, how many Coachellas is that?
Oh, no, we're back.
How many Coachellas is that?
How many Coachella? It's... let's find out. Coachella attendance. It's less than what? It's half a Coachella.
It's not half a Coachella.
Nearly 200,000 people. 120,000 people a day.
So
about
it's like
250,000
a day
tickets.
of Coachella.
It's roughly 1 day of Coachella.
1 day of Coachella. Okay. That's still quite a lot. Have that many people go to Coachella?
Yeah, it's big.
Jesus.
Big deal. So Perrin is also like, I don't know,
How many
man.
people go to Disneyland in a day?
I don't know.
Just gotta find out. I'm trying to find some references. Disneyland attendance in a day. Okay.
Disneyland daily attendance.
So it's like 2 Disneylands.
About 46,000 people per day.
God, that's so many people per day.
But does that include Disney California Adventure?
Does that include Disneyland?
I don't know.
I don't know. I assume so. That's so many people.
Oh, no. 70,000 at Disneyland Resort between Disneyland and California Adventure.
So it's a little more than 1 day at Disneyland.
It's roughly
With
1.5
parks.
Disneylands. Wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
I think it's... how many people fit in
what do you do with them all?
what's the stadium where we saw Taylor Swift?
SoFi.
So I think that's 80,000.
Yeah, these are important numbers for me, y'all. These are important numbers. I need to contextualize.
70,000. So one...
It's more than SoFi?
About 1.5 SoFi stadiums.
Wow.
But they also put people on the floor.
2 nights of the Eras Tour?
1.5 nights of the Eras Tour.
1.5 nights of the Eras Tour?
That's how many refugees they have.
Jeez. That's so many people. What do you even do with all those people? I know. We make a mean concert.
So
don't blame me, love, baby, crazy, but doesn't you doing it right? That's Perrin.
You know what he's singing?
What's saving my drug is my baby. I'll be using for the rest of my life.
You know what he's singing?
Nice, guys.
Thank you. You know what he's singing?
What?
Beans, 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 beans. That is just something I saw on TikTok 3 fucking years ago.
And it's just never escaped us.
Yeah.
And now it will never escape you either.
So, he's like, what do I do? Where do I go? I could go to Kyrian, because that's where Rand was last time I saw him, but I don't think he's there now. I don't think that whoever's in charge of
Perrin's
Andor...
like, this is going to affect the tour.
Which tour?
The world tour.
I don't think this is going to be... I'm going to be very popular in Andor with the whole Manetherin thing. I feel like whoever's in charge there is going to get pretty pissed off.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's Elaine, but I feel like, when has she ever been reasonable?
Oh, brutal. Brutal.
That's unfair of me. But I do think that there's going to be a problem between the two of them about that, most likely. Is Berlane still with them?
Yes.
What's she even doing there?
Hanging out.
Oh my God, get a life.
She's helped. Rand told her to go.
Well, Rand's dumb for sending her away.
Yeah, maybe.
She was helpful.
She was. She was a very good seneschal of Kyrian.
And then one assassination attempt when, by the way, she has 1 billion of them all the time. That's why she's armed to the teeth all the time. And he's like, I'm unsafe for you. And it's like, it's unclear whether or not that was even about you.
How does Perrin feel about people still calling him Perrin Golden Eyes?
He's not a fan.
He doesn't love it.
I just need him to just accept it at this point. I need him to just accept it. I need him. Oh, and then he's like, maybe I should go back in the wolf dream. And I was like, woo! Woo! And then Hopper's going to be like, get out. And I'm going to be like, Hopper!
During one of his recent visits to the wolf dream, he'd tried to kill Hopper. In the wolf dream, death was final. Perrin had almost lost himself that day.
Perrin had tried to kill Hopper? When did this happen?
It may or may not have
What?
happened briefly, like as a throwaway line in Knife of Dreams,
What?
or we didn't see it.
What?
Because there's one time where Perrin goes to the wolf dream and Hopper's like, get out! And Perrin is like, ugh! And he like throws a punch at him or something.
Okay, I really, really needed to see that happen.
Yeah.
Because that explains why Perrin hasn't been back.
This happened, let me check.
What? When did this happen?
It was very brief if it happened.
To be fair,
on page.
I'm starting to have it up to here about all this get out of the wolf dream thing when I'm like, it's literally his power.
It is. I'm trying to load up
So
Encyclopedia Watts.
I'm a
not
little
loading
on
right
Perrin's
now.
side about it, to be honest.
But it happened.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah. He continued down. He continued down the pathway to his tent, making some decisions. He pursued Fail with determination, avoiding the wolf dream.
Making some decisions?
Avoiding the wolf dream.
Wow.
Avoiding the wolf dream, as he'd avoided all of his responsibilities. He'd claimed
the reflection. Did he go to therapy in between books? My God.
that nothing else had mattered, but he knew that the truth was much more difficult. He'd focused on Fail because he loved her so much, but in addition, he'd done so because it had been convenient. Her rescue had been an excuse to avoid things like his discomfort with leadership and the blurred truce between himself and the wolf inside of himself.
Wow.
He had rescued Fail, but so many things were still wrong. The answers might lie in his dreams. It was time to return.
Woo!
Are you hype as fuck?
I am, actually.
For Perrin Karate Kid Training Hour Montage Day?
I am.
Perrin Dream Power Montage
It couldn't
Day?
have come any later.
Truly not. This was to be the final book.
I did kind of go, so is he ever gonna grapple with the whole wolf thing, or are we just gonna let that go? He's just gonna be like, I'm gonna stay curious.
But Al, he is here too strongly.
No,
He was here too strongly.
If Hopper pulls that, I'm
He
going
was there
to.
too strongly.
Hopper better not. We're in book 12 now. We need to be stepping quickly.
Well, stepping or staying. Dun dun.
Staying
Yes.
in the wolf dream.
In the wolf dream. Anything else you want to say about these two chapters? It feels like 2 chapters. This chapter and the rest of it.
Yeah.
You may hear my parents milling about out there. Anything else to say, Ellie? You just kind of said yeah. So I wasn't sure if you meant that or if you were just responding.
Well, yeah, of course I have something else.
It's okay if you don't. You don't have to.
Oh, I thought you meant like anything else.
No, about the chapters.
Anything else about the chapters.
Yeah, you ready to. We're on the other mic.
Hold on. Let me think. another big whiplash within the chapter itself.
Even so.
Because I've got floor beans, and then I've got Perrin's going back in the wolf dream. And I'm like, how are these two things connected? But I'm excited.
Well, do you want to hear the first sentence of the next chapter?
Is it Perrin?
Swan froze, basket of dirty laundry on her hip. The moment she walked into the Aes Sedai camp, it was her own laundry this time.
Oh, she and Gareth Byrne are going to make out, aren't they?
She'd finally realized that she didn't need to do both hers and Bryn's.
Yeah, he can do his own.
All right, so yeah. How you feeling at Gathering Storm? A ripper of a book, in my opinion.
So far,
Are you having a blast?
Really clipping. It is clipping. I am pleased. I like so many things, floor beans aside.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much everything but floor beans.
Everything but the floor beans so far has been 10 out of 10. The storm is gathering.
It is.
I feel it.
We started with that blacksmith.
cooking
Remember
with
him?
gas?
That guy who was like, those clouds
The
are fucked up.
storm is gathering.
And then he looks down, he looks up, and he's like, oh shit, they're all up on my ass. And then he looks down again, he's like, now they're over there.
And they're gathering.
They are gathering.
I'm pleased. I'm really pleased. I think Semirhage's going to break out.
Semirhage battle 2.0.
Battle Semirhage.
Semirhage battle again.
And then Perrin is going to go in the wolf dream, and he's going to get an extended training montage.
You're gonna have a montage.
Montage.
Oh, we're gonna have a montage. Oh, what is that from?
I don't know.
I don't remember what that's from.
I think we made it up.
No, we didn't. I definitely saw it in something.
Yeah.
Oh, Ewat's down again. We're gonna have a montage. Oh, it's from Team America.
Oh.
I've never seen Team America. Well, there you go. That's what it's from. It
Maybe
must
it's
have
a
made its
TikTok
way to
sound.
the internet.
Yeah. Oh, definitely did. But okay, I'm excited. I feel like, okay, so Egwene, let's review. Matt's
Not seen yet.
not seen yet. Rand is with Mid. They're not really doing that much.
He shook his fist at the sky.
And they've decided that they need to break the seals. That was exciting.
Yes.
Avyenda, probably going to become a wise one once she gets her head out of her ass.
She's
Egwene,
working on it.
Still getting her ass beat, but
Also
in a
beat
cool
beat
way.
Elida's ass.
Yeah.
In front of everybody.
In front of
So in a
everybody.
way, we kind of did hit Elida with the same humiliation that we hit
we
Semirhage.
did. Okay, there's the parallels are paralleling.
You know what?
And there was
Ba-na-na-na.
soup spilled on the floor.
Soup.
Long as I got my soup,
Yeah.
I'm gonna spill my soup on the floor.
Yes.
And then let's see what else. Perrin's going in the wolf dream.
Perrin's gonna do some things.
At
Moiraine
some point,
still captured. Not a fucking word about her. Not one.
I'm gonna need Matt to get his
It's
ass
been
together about
over a full book since he read that letter.
that. If he does not rescue her by the end of this book, I'm flipping a table.
Knife of Dreams, Chapter 10.
I'm gonna flip a table.
That
What
was.
can I say? I'm gonna
Episode
flip a table.
200 compared to this, which I think is episode 232 or 3 or
That's
somewhere
too
in
many
there.
episodes.
Well, look.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We have social media if you want to know what we've got going on. It's linked down below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes. And you can always leave us a rating and or a review, which helps a great deal. Other than that, anything else, Allie?
Beans, beans, beans,
Beans, beans, beans, beans, beans.
beans, beans, beans.
Beans.
All right, I'm done.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.